items for approval. Action items. 1A is the approval of the minutes of the October 9th, 2024 meeting. I move the approval of action item 1A. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, I'm going to call a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. I would now like to address the policy calendar. Policy item 1B1 is a resolution to authorize the acquisition of the condominium units at 375 West 207th Street, New York, New York. I now call on Vice Chancellor Mohammed Atalia to provide further background on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Dominican Studies Institute seeks to accommodate the expansion of its archive and library resources and provide greater access to scholars and the public to the Dominican archives. The university intends to purchase condominium units in the building at 375 West 207th Street on behalf of the institute. The seller, Sherman Greek Owner LLC, will be responsible for the new construction of the building and forming a condominium at the site. The seller will fit out the unit per the institute's specification prior to closing on the units. The institute has located funding through grants and other sources directed to the purchase of the unit, and the institute will provide a plan to support the operating costs of the unit. The university has negotiated the terms of a purchase and sale agreement to buy the units. For the purchase price is an amount not to exceed $35 million. As the new fee owner of the units, the university will be exempt from the New York City real estate tax. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Vice Chancellor. I move the approval of policy item 1B1. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion, questions, comments, concerns?
Can I just?
Yeah, absolutely, please.
Thank you. I
Chancellor.
just want to add a little bit of the history of the project, which I think might be important for the committee members to
Sure.
to know. And this has been part of. I mean, the Dominican Studies Institute is one of our jewels in the system. I mean, it's the only such institute in the nation dedicated to the study of the Dominican community here, but also they do a lot of research about history and culture in the Dominican Republic, and have a stellar reputation. At the same time, that is a scholarly, academic, research policy type of institute like ours. But there's been a sense in the community of wanting to have an institution that had a bit more of a culture, arts kind of perspective to it. And the idea was that the institute could be a perfect home for such a expanded entity. This is something that has the full backing of Governor Hochul. You saw it in the, I think it was mentioned in the resolution. The governor made an announcement of putting money to support the project. He made the announcement, I think, at the time of the Dominican National Parade, right? And has also a lot of enthusiasm among many elected officials, not just in the Dominican American community, but also in Northern Manhattan. There's also the feeling that this facility could be a part of an anchor in also economic development, cultural, tourism of that nature. The institute is also actively fundraising for the operational part of the expansion. So I just wanted to put that out there as one of those projects that has a lot of support from many parts of the community, and would fill a huge void and would really complement some of the great work that the Dominican Studies Institute has been doing. So I just wanted to put that out there for context, and happy to take any questions on that. But
Okay, thank you, Chancellor. Do we have any questions? Okay, hearing none, I'm going to take a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries unanimously. Informational items. With no more items on the policy calendar, we now move to information items. There is one information item on the agenda. Information item 2A is a presentation with an update on facilities planning, construction, and management. I now call on Vice Chancellor Mohammed Atalia to provide further background on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to provide some update to facilities process with a focus on energy conservation and sustainability initiative that we have been working on. So we will share with you information regarding the Executive Order 22 that at the state level as a mandate for government agencies to comply with certain terms leading towards sustainability and energy conservation, also Local Law 97 on the city side. Then an update on the progress of our energy master plan and a couple of updates on sustainability.
Well, my hope is that
For the Executive Order 2022 and as a city, the goal, as we know, is to create a project pipeline to demonstrate 35% reduction in energy use by 2025 from the 2015 baseline. And this is the first approaching mandate. So as you see on the screen here, our baseline on 2015 was about 2.5 million BTUs that need to be dropped to 1.6 by 35%. To date, we have identified about 20% reduction, utilizing about 131 energy-related projects and projects that contributing to the reduction of our energy performance. At the same time as well, we have about 83 other projects now being analyzed in terms of their potential reduction, and that is expected and anticipated to bring us to the needed target of 35%. With Local Law 97, we look at the greenhouse gas reduction. And for Local Law 97, the target is to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions by 40% by 2025 from a baseline of 2006 rather than 2015. And as you see on the screen here, our baseline was 77 million ton of CO2 equivalent, and that needs to be dropped to 46. So far, the reduction is about 32%, so we have another 8% to go. And we have a number of DCAS funded projects that also is anticipated to take us to the target of 40% reduction. That's on the community college side.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, so I noticed it's CCNY and Brooklyn College. They have very old buildings, and this also doesn't take into account open space like Lehman, Queens College, and College of Staten Island that have 70, 73, and 208 acres of open space. So that doesn't take into that account. It's just strictly reductions.
The built environment. Yeah. So so I was coming to the senior colleges. I was speaking to the community colleges on the left side of the screen. The right side show us the senior colleges. And as you see that our target on the, I should say that on the senior colleges side, the measurements, it looks at the greenhouse gas emission intensity, not just in a metric ton of emission, but it's the intensity of kilogram CO2 equivalent per gross square foot. So our target for 2024 to 2029 on the senior colleges side is 9.87 kilogram of CO2 equivalent per gross square foot. And you see all of our colleges are already in compliance with this first target. There are two other targets as we see here, 2030 34 and 35 50. For our upcoming target, all of our colleges are already in compliance except Brooklyn College and CCNY and City College. However, we have allocated enough funds to initiate projects that bring those two colleges, as we will see in the upcoming slides, to bring it to compliance. This is some example of some of the projects that are being planned. Our focus is currently on 4 major categories: envelope, HVAC, building automation system, and lighting. So we focus in building envelope, for example, we have 47 roof replacement and repair projects in this category. Under the HVAC, we have a number of decarbonization projects, including the installation of heat pumps, variable frequency drives in some of the schools, and those are mechanical equipment and mechanical components that realize better energy efficiency utilization on the campus. Building automation system is one major energy conservation exercise, is to enhance the building control in all aspects, whether in the HVAC side or in the built environment side. So we have a major project being implemented in Brooklyn College, College of Staten Island. Lighting projects also, DCAS is funding a large number of projects campus-wide in some of our campuses. So those are just an example that we wanted to present to you. When we say we have some projects in the pipeline that will take us there, we wanted just to share some of those with you. On the renewable energy side, we have a great potential. As we know, based on our analysis, CUNY has a potential of 19 megawatt, and we're trying to work with funding agencies or in partnerships to fund those. Already a project was implemented at BMCC. We have some other projects looking at storage and further assessments underway. For example, in City College, we have, this is a pioneer project, pilot project really. CUNY is assuming leadership here in this kind of work, where we're having parking canopies with solar panels, with electrical charger, and battery storage. So we take the energy coming from the solar panel, store it for the use at the peak time, and it will be fed directly to the building. So, and the location of those have been chosen, the location of the canopies have been chosen to maximize the efficiency of bringing the power to the building. This is the first of its kind to implement that, a pilot to incorporate all of those. And with its success, really CUNY would be a leader in New York in implementing such an idea. And there is a research and an academic component. So we partnered with the Energy Center at City College and with the researchers in order to help students and research students to also benefit from this work. This is some example of the potential that I spoke about in certain areas that we're trying to study to implement similar work at Brooklyn College in certain areas where there's parking lot and some of the roofs of the building. And the same thing at the Queens College, some of the roofs, and City College as well. The south parking, we have an analysis being performed now to do the same thing. The energy master planning, we are moving forward with our developed energy master plan, and we're going to phase 2 now of engaging experts to start now to develop detailed list of projects and move into the design of project for implementation. We presented to the committee earlier our developed energy master plan, and we showed in general the categories, the components, and how we're targeting in the near term and in the long term. And the long term, if you recall, was more around electrification, which that's looking outward like 10 years. For the near term, the near 5 years, we are working now on developing specific projects that we start to implement in order to take us to realize our objective. We're getting some fund. It has different names. Sometimes we call it the Bond Act Fund or the New York State Decarbonization Leadership Program. and the state provided us with about $100 million dedicated to Brooklyn College, CCNY, and Hunter College. We see here on the right side of the screen those $100 million. We have list of projects we are working with the state now to finalize. This list of projects you see on the screen, it adds up to more than $100 million. But it's basically we are studying now the feasibility or the best bang of our buck of where to implement. But the focus here for sure, we have chosen Brooklyn College and CCNY specifically because, as you recall in the earlier screen, these are only the two colleges that need some work to achieve the target. So with the help of this $100 million, these two colleges will also comply with the target of Executive Order 22. On the community colleges side, we do have a DCAS funding that adds up to $194 million, and that's in implementation. Many of those projects are in different phases, either design, construction, or already completed. In the immediate term, we have two building automation system projects, for example, in construction, 4 in the feasibility study, and 6 sub-metering projects also we are proceeding with. We also in a different mode where the green economy workforce development capital funding, we've received that capital funding $7 million, and it was really directed towards research and studies at the colleges that would help achieve more greening. And so we have proposals in 9 campuses that serve around 6,000 students annually, and the proposals focused on workforce pathways to support green economy. So that was another piece of collaboration with our academic community. So in addition to energy conservation, the sustainability aspect as well, our team is working on that. As you know, the state also have a mandate for waste diversion, and waste diversion basically diverting waste from the general dump into recycling and reuse. So currently the good news is we reported that CUNY have 39% waste diversion at this point, and moving towards our target, the goal of 50% waste diversion by the year 2029. Generally, all campuses have submitted waste diversion plans, and which include as well the update on the single-use plastic elimination plans. That's another direction from the state. 8 of those colleges have introduced organic waste collection system. Majority of the colleges also employ the material donation. What we mean by material donation, as students move on, we're trying to reuse and recycle some of the items that are being used, and that's another approach of diverting it from going to the general waste. 16 colleges have performed plans for waste audits as well to improve really calculating our waste. So, and as you see on the chart here, the process and the activities that we employ in order to achieve this objective. Last but not least, last slide is moving to zero emission vehicle fleet transition, which is a target for 2035. Right now, CUNY has about 12%. This is what we have, and now the primary focus is to really perform an analysis on the campuses, looking at where and how and when we would deliver the electric vehicle chargers, because that's a very important aspect in order to move into this direction, and analyzing the needs of the grid, because currently not all areas have enough power in the grid that would support that need. So this is a collaborative work between us and the utility companies to get this. And that will conclude my update and presentation. Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Okay, are there any questions? Yes, please.
Are there any opportunity for, I guess, with the solar projects in terms of when they feed into the community, that we're able to kind of populate? You know how sometimes if you have a home, you have some usage, whatever excess can be put into kind of the rest
The
of the
grid.
grid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, the process really is the produced electricity is to go to the grid. If the question is about feeding that to the community somehow and bypassing the grid, I think that we need further discussions to be able to do that. But it's always, I mean, that's an area which has a lot of development.
Yeah.
As we move as a community towards this
I wonder if in the future we get donors that like donate, the certain to electricity, or I don't know if it could go that route, but yeah, that's interesting. Did you have something? No.
Oh, I just wanted to see with the solar canopies over the parking lots, this pilot program for City College and for Brooklyn College, if that's successful, do you anticipate us going out to the other colleges?
Yes, if we go to Staten Island in particular.
You guys guessed what I was thinking? You must be clairvoyant.
Any other questions?
Yeah, one last
Sure.
one on the recycled material donation programs. I wonder if because there's a lot of there's grants where you can get bins and stuff. So maybe that's another area that we could maybe dip into if there's programs that are looking to enhance recycling, that we can tap into those funds because the bins, they're expensive.
Absolutely.
They're very expensive.
Absolutely correct, yes.
Okay.
And this is some of the activities that in the, when we bins.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
I have a suggestion for you. I have one to suggest for you guys to look into, so I'll share it with you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, that would be, because absolutely, it's a very important piece of the infrastructure.
Yeah,
All,
yeah, yeah.
When you think of garbage, think of R&Ds.
You said that.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, with no more items on the agenda, I move to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Second.
I like that now you bring other colleges into it. I mean, that was very,
Yeah, see?
let me tell you.
I mean, I'm for Staten Island's got other
You're
college.
like-
I just found